Across the Park podcast is proud to be sponsored by Globe Gas and Heating. For the best kitchen and bathroom renovations, boiler servicing and repair, and central and underfloor heating in the Northwest, head over to globecentralheating.com and quote Across the Park for a free quote. Hello and welcome to Across the Park podcast. We are on location at the world famous Winslow Hotel. Thank you to Dave and everyone at the Winslow for allowing us to pop down and judge you what is tinkering on. I don't know whether I'm going to get through this or not. Anyone who's
through this
watching,
podcast or
through this week, I don't know how I've got to Wednesday. I really don't. Ian Mills, Gary Judge, as always. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe before we move forward into the show, which is going to be. We've got Bournemouth at home on Sunday, and if you told me that it was the most, in your opinion, the most important game in our history, I wouldn't argue with you, because the implications that come with what could happen. With the Newcastle game, me particular, I was very, very low.
Newcastle-Leicester.
Newcastle, I didn't see a way out of it. I did not see a way out of it when we left that
Oh,
ground.
sorry, the Newcastle
at home,
you saw the Newcastle game on Monday.
Oh, Newcastle at home, yeah. If you'd have told me at that moment, Bournemouth at home, win and you're fine, it's in your hands.
Yeah, he's a
took it.
Yeah.
But now we're here. I'm still fucking worrying. I'm still worried sick. That Leicester point the other night has made me think, good God, we can't draw now. And there's all these scenarios going on in my head.
I know,
how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, there's a few different ways of looking at it. One, obviously, you can apply your glass half empty.
That's why I need you to come
glass half empty approach where you think, God, now we can't afford to draw. We've got to win, assuming that Leicester and Leeds win their games, which I think they will. But the other way of looking at it is like, I think it makes the job more straightforward to the players. We've got to go out, we've got to attack them, we've got to get 3 points from this game. We can't leave it in the balance. We can't even leave it in the balance at 1-0. We've got to make sure it's over. 2-0, 3-0, that's where we want to be. At 60 minutes, you want to be 2 or 3-0 up, don't you? And know that this is in the bag, regardless of the other results. So
that many moving
parts, I think, and I look at the Brighton game, and for me, that was straightforward. It was like for Sean's eyes, I think he thought we need to win this game. I think that was the message to the players. We're going out to win this game. We've had too many 1 points away from home. We need to go and win it. I think that was the same in the Wolves game. Obviously, the losing those players early on, it upsets the balance, doesn't it? The players don't really know how to react. We managed by hook or crook to get a point. But I think with a full week of preparation, for Sean Dyche's team, the players have known that, look, nothing but 3 points on Sunday is good enough. I think makes the whole preparation and the mindset a lot more straightforward.
I think it does now. I think you're right. I think this week the manager can go into it saying like drawing shouldn't be part of your heads here. But drawing the game on Sunday, and for us as fans, we are naturally going to be looking at all these other scores, and it might be that them two are getting beat and we're drawing. It takes it to change. Like,
I know, but I don't think. But again, I think it does make it more straightforward because ultimately their results could change at any moment. But if we're winning, it doesn't matter. So where is the previous scenario, as you say, if Leicester got beat on Monday and we know that a draw is enough, we are looking at the results thinking, So
I'm thinking in that scenario, Everton 1-0 up, it's not as nervy if we don't want them to, but we can afford.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I get that as well.
Can you imagine a scenario, and it's probably going to happen, where everything's on a knife edge?
But even in that scenario you're talking about there, though, a 3 or 4-0 Leeds win then sends us down. So we still would.
No way that happens.
Yeah, maybe not.
I'm going to be a YouTube legend if I get this wrong, but I'll go on record. Leeds are done. It's Everton Leicester, I think. Leeds need too many things to go. They need both teams to get done, and they've got to beat Tottenham. I think they're done, but that'll come back to bite me if not. We'll go into probably in the summer if we do carry on to this podcast. We'll go into like how we've got here, and we'll do a bit of a log of a show on why we are where we are as a club. We're going to try and focus on this show on just going in to Sunday. Now, again, the problem I've got in my head is that we've done a show before with Cherry's Red TV, good Bournemouth fan channel, that'll be out on Friday. And I was saying to them, I don't know how we're going to set up. We've got no fullbacks. The centre-half who covers the fullbacks easy.
Is Michaelenko definitely out as well?
I seen the Bullens lads are
Godfrey's definitely out.
Godfrey's out, yeah. 2 right backs are gone. Vinagre's
know that, yeah.
not there.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we set up.
I know.
The way we played against Brighton and the way we played against City for the first 30 minutes, okay.
But then a major factor of not maybe setting up with with McNeil a fullback, he's our leading goal scorer.
I know.
And he's our main contributor.
He's having to stop goals with the
Yeah, that just doesn't. It's not conducive to winning games, is it?
Is the manager going to be? What I'm trying to get at, is the manager going to be forced into a defensive setup?
He's going to have to be forced into playing more centre backs, isn't he? Because that's the only choice we've got if we haven't got full backs. I mean, I don't know the depth of the youth team in that area, but I can't imagine there's going to be a left back ready to step up.
Campbell's the only one. He's trained with them. Under Lampard, I think that's it.
I don't even think he was on the bench at the weekend. So that kind of rules him out. I mean, there are midfielders. Tom Davies has played at right back before.
He's injured as well.
Again, I wasn't sure if he'd be fit.
Option gone.
Iwobi, I don't think has been the attacking threat or creative player that he maybe was under Lampard. You maybe compromise one over the other and go, well, McNeil's been better in that final third. Let's put Iwobi as right back.
You have to play both of them.
Yeah,
fullbacks.
I don't think you can play both of them.
And if you do, you've then got to play 3 centre-halves to cover.
So yeah, I think all that considered, 3 centre-halves seems like the most logical, way forward. I mean, one, it gets your centre-halves on the pitch that are maybe going to get us a goal from a set piece, and 2, it allows the likes of McNeil and Iwobi to play further forward, and dropping the likes of Garner.
James Garner can maybe fall right back at Wolves.
Yeah. He was kind of slotting in, and the point being is if you play 3 at the back, for example, and you play wing backs, you're probably allowing them to bomb on, and you ask Guy and Garner to come and fill in them gaps when they appear. But with 3 centre backs, you only need one of them to tuck in and create a back four. So I think that would be the most comfortable option for the manager. I just think you should even play as that 3rd centre back then, because
Cody would play with me in that time.
Yeah. If you're playing a back 3 and that's the plan from the get-go, putting Cozy in there for a number of reasons I think makes sense. A game like this, he's played in some big games. Cozy obviously played in Europe and stuff as well.
Need leaders out there, somebody as well.
Yeah, we do. He's a blue. He'll know what the game means to him, to everyone else. So I think that makes a lot of sense on a number of levels. And he's also a player. Who's got decent distribution compared to Michael.
It's just one more problem that we didn't need, isn't it? Putting square pegs in round holes in the week. We've done that on Saturday against Wolves. It's no one's fault. Look, it happens. It just happens to us at the most Everton time. If it happened to us, you're putting square pegs in round holes on Saturday against Wolves. We win that, but we're not doing this podcast in this location with sound. So it's cost us there. And the worry is now, we're going to go and do it again against arguably just as well of a good team as Wolves. A footballing team who they've got
nothing to lose, and I think it'll, there's so many like little subplots, isn't there? Obviously, the 2 games that we had down there in December were nothing short of a disaster for us. If anything, if you look at it on paper, they're probably the worst team we could play, because they've probably scored more goals against us this season than anyone else.
Aggregate.
Yeah, they've probably scored more goals against us than anyone has this season, including City and Liverpool. So, you could argue that they're the worst team we could be playing. So they're going to have that. The players are going to have confidence playing against this group of players. They will. But then do you look at it and go, our players have got a point to prove, and they'll maybe be more motivated to beat this Bournemouth side. Yeah, it's just packed with reasons to not think about the game.
That Bournemouth hangover didn't even happen, because it was the last game before the
World Cup.
So we all went away, and then Everton went and played 2 Sunday League teams in Australia. Came back all happy. So that Bournemouth hangover didn't even last. I don't think that's even in play. Players, I don't think they're thinking...
But that might be a good thing. If we'd have gone off the back of that game and it was a led to Lampard sacking and a load of negativity around the club, there might be more of a hangover for the players. I think the less subplots, the better, or the less factors that come into those players' minds, the better. It should just be about, look, we go and win, do our business on Sunday, win that game by hook or crook, and we're up, and that's it. And go, thinking back to that Palace game, that was the job, weren't it? We went 2-0 down, but we've got to win this game. We're playing Spurs last game of the season.
This feels similar.
So last
season, we would have beat Brentford at home. Palace wasn't needed, and we didn't do it. and the pressure cranked up. That this is it.
And that's the bit, I've spoken to a few people this week, not Everton fans, who are like, it's whether your players can play under that pressure. And I was like, look, they're certainly not a squad that I would say are, are filled with winners and
they're not a fearless bunch of players, then.
What?
They're not a fearless bunch of players.
No, they're not a fearless bunch of players, but I guess going back to that Palace game when the writing was on the wall, it's like you've got to produce here. They were able to produce. They've done it in a high pressure game against Brighton. To a certain extent, they're used to being in this position now, and they've lost, but they've never lost to the extent that it's cost the club the place in the league. Do you know what I mean? They've rose to the challenge last season when they had to. There's no Richarlison around. There's no
Calvert-Lewin. You had a Brazilian forward who'd run through a brick wall for you last year.
Yeah, and Calvert-Lewin was there as well, wasn't he? So, and two of those players pretty much, got two of the goals, didn't he? So, my concern, we've talked about the defensive side of it and all the reshuffle. My concern is just the other end of the pitch.
Two players up front.
Because ultimately in a game like this, the message is obviously about winning the game, and it's also about fucking outscoring the opposition.
But it's going to have to be Decore off someone. But who's the someone? Do you go with Sims and you try and bully them? Or do you go with Gray and say at least we'll lose something defensively?
I don't think that a team Bournemouth that are going to be susceptible to being bullied. These players are played in the Championship, the seasoned centre-backs and defenders. So
you needed Damari Gray to shoot on sight?
I think Damari Gray needs to be in there, yeah, as much as, there's a strong argument for Ellis Sims that absolutely has. He hasn't really put a performance in at Goodison, has he? Let's be honest.
No.
He hasn't had that many chances, but even when he's come on, he hasn't particularly... if you're talking about a player who's, every time he's come on the pitch, has scored, he's only got that goal at Chelsea, and that goal at Chelsea was against a lacklustre defence. I can't see the type of opening that he creates at Chelsea coming about against Bournemouth. They're going to be sitting deep, sitting tight.
Chelsea were high,
he's going to have to be in that area. And again, I guess that feeds the narrative for playing Ellis Sims. There's going to be crosses coming into the box, particularly if we play wing backs, that you need a forward you can get on the end of it. Only Sean Dyche knows what the game plan is, dictates whether Ellis Sims plays or not. If we start that game and they're throwing balls in the box right, left and centre, there will be pleas from the crowd to get Ellis Sims on the pitch or to put someone in there. I mean, you're seeing against Wolves the difference it made just when we put centre-backs up there who could win headers. So, I'm hoping, with that said, that if the tactic is going to be to get balls in the box and get them in regularly, that he plays a natural striker. And in that instance, it would be Ellis Sims. But if he's going to be playing in the same vein that he's played against the likes of Brighton, which we can't really expect, we're not going to be playing on the counter, you don't think, on Sunday.
No.
Albeit Sean Dyche is a manager who's used to conceding possession, provided that he can
do that? Can we afford to say you've got the ball? We'll try and punch you when we can.
No, not necessarily. But if he thinks that's the best way to win the game against the team that's playing with no pressure, the beauty of playing against the team with no pressure, they're not going to be bothered about leaving the back door open. They probably just want to go out, enjoy this game, enjoy the atmosphere, try and win the game and compete. But they're not necessarily going to be. If I'm a midfielder in that Bournemouth team on Sunday, I'm not reluctant to run forward, make forward runs.
Are you fighting? You're a Bournemouth player?
I want to compete. I think I'm a Bournemouth player. I'd relish it. Yeah,
I'd relish it. Early doors. I'm thinking, I'm not off for this. Got Marbella next week. I want that. I want someone to say, you're not getting on here today.
Listen, I think the fans and the players can go a long way to convincing half of that team to just go, don't fancy this. But I think they've got a bit of character in that team, and I think again a large percentage of that group has come up from the Championship, and they'll still be looking to prove that they've got to fight for next season as well. And I think the manager, Gary O'Neill, has done a great job with galvanising that group and certainly convincing them that they're not the team that got beat 9-0 at Anfield.
He's getting some pressure, which might not work for us. So the lad I spoke to, he was saying that the last 3 games, they've lost the last 3. And he's playing centre-halves at right-back when his right-back's on the bench. And we know ourselves sometimes that can be the first trigger. So he's under a bit of pressure himself. Maybe he's not going to be up for just conceding.
He's not, that's what I mean. I don't think managers want to go into that next season with that level of negative momentum, whether it be from the fans or from results. So listen, I think whether that translates to the players, I think the manager and generally the consensus at Bournemouth is going to be, we want to at least go and compete, make a good game of it, and at least get a couple of goals there, because I think that's the other thing. They haven't got many goals in the last few weeks. I think they'll be determined to get on the score sheet, and then it's a question of whether we can muster the goals to outscore them.
But he was saying Kiefer Moore's not played, so you imagine he will come back in.
He was a thorn in our sides when we played him in the cup.
He was cozy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But we'll get back to Bournemouth to end the show. A couple of other things just to touch upon. We've said that we'll possibly do a show in the summer. We'll go in depth a little bit as to where we are as a football club. We'll just touch very briefly on it. I think there's an awful lot of accountability to be had, and it looks like they're going to get out of it without having any accountability, because the exclusivity deal now with MSP is that talks are ongoing, whether it's going to be 25%, which Alan Myers alluded to. The Daily Mail are saying, don't listen to that, it's a takeover. So something's happening. So I'm glad something's happening. I don't believe in all this, be careful what you wish for, because I think we're fucked as it is. I don't think it'll get much worse. But what's your feeling of the timing of that? It looks like our Premiership status is not quite secure. These guys are still going for it. That comfort you, or...?
I mean, they've stepped forward. Listen, there's no doubt about it. Nothing's going to be completed before Sunday, because the price side of it. You imagine that Mashiri's team are probably trying to push this through to go just in case we do go down. The price suddenly drops, doesn't it?
From MSP's point of view, how great would it be if we stay up on Sunday, by Monday morning they come in and go, trust us, we'll sort this. It's a slate, and they've got the fans straight away because of Nick Lampard got the fans because of who was before him.
Simon's Everton in that instance, isn't it, in terms of getting the backing of the fans and getting them to buy into whatever their plans are.
But did it mean much to you, that exclusivity thing? Does it mean a lot, or...?
It just means that, that there will have been some kind of financial payment for that, because there's got to be some benefit to Mashiri for allowing them to have that.
It was legal. That's the thing we need.
I know exactly. Yeah.
Found the brown envelopes.
Yeah. No, I mean, the exclusivity means something, because they've clearly shown willing, and the fact that they're serious about it. And it means that obviously they're not they've agreed to not deal with anyone else or negotiate with anyone else until this period's over. So I think I'm certain it means something. I think there's got to be, for Mashiri to have allowed that at this stage, there's two things really. One, he has got a lack of options on the table, because if it's a seller's market, then he's not agreeing to that exclusivity. He's saying, put your money where your mouth is, and then we'll talk. Even if he says to them, look, you're buying a 5% stake, and then you can agree to buy more, but I'm not giving you that exclusivity unless... There must have been some kind of marker put down by MSP for them to allow that, for them to agree to that.
So let's jump forward. Hypothetically, it's a takeover. Do you wipe the slate clean with that board?
No.
Do they say you're gone? We're bringing our own men in. Are they wiping the whole board?
I'd say so, yeah. I'd say so.
You've got to read the room, haven't you?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, look, given the way that it seems they operate, and they'll be commercially savvy enough to know that it's they're starting on the back foot if they don't completely do that. I mean, you might see the likes of Sharp stay in some kind of ambassadorial role, which you think... Yeah,
just give him a blazer.
That's it. That's it. Right, exactly. Give him a blazer. Give him a Kenny Dalglish blazer. Yeah. Get him sitting up there. Get him waving to people and speaking to people. Get him to be honest about what's gone on over the last few years and maybe what, So I think there's some easier wins out there without completely chopping everyone, but I don't think anyone would be particularly disappointed to see the rest of them go.
Yeah, okay.
Grant Singles might even come through it.
And Baxendale's apparently closer to doing the stadium. She's a big part of that. So
yeah, and listen...
Is it easy to get rid of her?
I think she'll walk back into some community-based role or charity-based role or something like that. Yeah. I mean, listen, despite the bad will towards her, the bad will is the fact that she's out of her depth. I don't think it's and it's become personal over the whole headlock affair. So PR-wise, she hasn't got much goodwill. However, putting her back into that community setup and going, can you continue the work that you've done before? Was either force her to walk and go and find some other role, or she slots back in where she was.
Do you know what? If you didn't laugh, you'd cry. The timing of that headlock gate at that Southampton game, there was already planned protests.
I know.
12,000 fans stayed behind, and they were just... They angered everyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone was tired. The people who didn't like the protests were tired with the protesters.
No, and we're still weirdly waiting for some kind of outcome, aren't we? No one's actually said nothing still.
I know. Well, we got Kenwright in the accounts saying woe was me, didn't he? He put his little statements out there going, I want to get back to ground and you're the bad guys.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Yeah. That's another interesting one, isn't it? Do any of them turn up on Sunday? Do they do it?
They can't.
I know you're saying that, but do they? Does one of them, break rank and
the only way they could have got back in. The only way they could
have
got back in this season.
It burned my head out if they just kind of turned up out of the exits. If we managed to win.
No, do you know if we were up already and the sale had been announced and the club gaslighted this, like we're just giving them one last game. Don't panic. That's the only way they get back in for me. Yeah. They're never going to be seen here again.
Just an interesting question for you, and this has been something that's gone through my mind, despite the fact I'm not a glass half empty type person.
But like I am, by the way.
If everyone loses on Sunday, what's your final whistle reaction?
Look, I'm out with you. I'm in here, and I'm having a pint of relief. But they're not getting clapped off.
I was going to say, that's one thing I want to advocate to any fan watching this, and it sounds negative and what have you. If we get beat on Sunday and we manage to stay up on the virtue of the other teams getting beat as well, walk out that ground, don't give them nothing.
No.
Let them parade around the pitch, and if the family want to stay and friends, that's fine. And I might get abused for that, but I am not staying in that. If them players can't muster up a draw at least and any type of bottle and can't beat that Bournemouth team, or can't get us the result we need, and we just get out of it based on other teams, that's.
And if I'd like
I'm
to
done
say,
with that group of players.
Unless we win in dramatic fashion, don't go on the pitch.
No.
Unless it's a 1-0, 95th minute. And
even
the emotion
that
carries you on. I get that.
Yeah.
We're 2-0 up. And then people run on. Do not laud the set of players. We need them to get us through this Sunday.
No, I agree with that.
And that's it for me.
Yeah, I agree. And there's some players that will come out this season on reflection with a bit of credit. I think we all know who they are. I mean, a couple of them are actually injured. Patterson and Coleman would be two of the players you go, you know what, fair play to them for different reasons. Despite my comments on a certain other podcast, Pickford will come out with some credit. Yeah. Tarkowski will come out with some credit. Apart from that, I'm really struggling for players that McNeil towards the end. Yeah, towards the end, McNeil and Zakore have stepped up when we've needed them to, and there could be a hero, Yerry Mina. He hasn't been in the team.
Anyone deserves a send off.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay in 95th minute at the park end.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think that'd get me on just for the just for the banter alone.
Watching the Wolves game, touch upon the Wolves game very briefly because it's gone, and I don't want to linger on something that's gone when something that important is coming. How did you feel we played? Because I thought we played okay. Now, I don't know whether it was because I was accepting of round pegs and square holes and I just seen that we were trying, or I wasn't bevying because I had the kids, so I was watching it with a clear mind. But I thought we played all right, and loads of people I spoke to said, no, we were shit.
No, I thought first half we were very good. I thought we'd completely dominated, and I think if we get a goal in that period, like for instance, the one where Yerry Mina takes it off Calvert-Lewin's head, comes to mind. There was a few, really decent chances in there. I think if we get a goal in there, we almost do a Brighton and beat them 2-3, 4-0, assuming those injuries don't come around. The injuries completely threw us, and the performance from there on in was not good. It wasn't good, but you kind of get, you've worked on a game plan all week. Two of the players who were involved in that game plan, very integral to it, taken off the pitch. The players who come in their place were not fit for purpose in terms of the same game plan. I don't think the players knew what formation we were playing. The defenders almost took it into their own. It was a messy affair from there on in, and I think we were lucky to not be 2-0, if not 3-0 down. Pickford's made a good save. There's a few chances on the break. I think if it was another team, and Wolves, I spoke to the Talking Wolves podcast, and they were saying, look, we haven't scored many goals. We're fairly tight, but we don't score many goals. They're one of the only teams in the league that have scored less than us, and that says a lot. So I think that probably sums up how we got out of jail in the end, is they weren't able to kill us off, and we got lucky in that final period. But I think the first half, thought we played well, and I think we got messy from there on in.
Yeah, it did. Nothing sums up the reason why we're in this situation. We remove the balls and remove all of the twos and fro's. Nothing sums the situation up more to me. And in order to score a goal on Saturday, we sent the keeper up and the centre half was playing in front, and another centre half had to score it. Yeah. The firepower's just it's let us down so bad, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. And Tarkowski's been the most, the most vocal about that, hasn't he? The fact that he's sick of the defenders having to dig these strikers and forwards out. or take them out of a mess. But again, as I said, we pointed to before, you've got your what's been our most influential attacking player playing left back, and all that going on, and maybe push forward to left wing. It was a difficult one. I've got a degree of sympathy for the players on Saturday that were involved in that, because the game plan went out the window. They lost any resemblance of identity they had was gone. I think it was a tough one, and it was just a relief, and we were lucky to get out with the points in the end. And how huge does that point?
The point itself, yeah, it may be, but I think the fact that Everton, the players were clapped off, and the fans left in a better mood than what it would have been.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I know a few people. You've said a few people said it was a poor performance, but I think you could see the effort, regardless of that. You could see they were chasing everything. Yeah. They were, there was they were chasing lost causes. They were kicking everything that moved. There was, albeit, briefly going back to it, and Dyche said it in his post-match press conference, the first goal should have been avoided by a professional foul. Just
should have been, yeah.
Just kick him, take him out the game, as many teams have to do to Traoré. He didn't do that. But at that aside, I think the players shown that they were fighting for it. They were trying their best. There's been so many occasions this season where they give up the ghost. There was a few occasions towards the end where maybe they didn't track back as well as they could have done. But I think the manager will have picked that up as well.
It was chaos, that game. It was
mad.
Watching it was like...
It was a mess, yeah.
Yeah. So here we are. We're fighting against two other teams to stay up. Would you swap our fixtures? Would you swap for West Ham?
I'd swap for West Ham. I'd take West Ham at home. We were worried about West Ham playing a weakened team at home last week against Leeds. But I was saying, and it was pretty much confirmed that I don't think they're quite at that stage yet where they're thinking about the final. It's still 3 weeks away. It's now going to be 10 days away from the final. And I think you won't want to risk any injuries, yeah. It's a huge game for David Moyes. It's a huge game for the club. You've got nothing to play for in the league. The only players who might get a game are the ones who are saying to the manager, I need to keep ticking over here. I'm not the type of player who can sit off for 10 days. But they're going to be in the minority. The likes of Paqueta is going to be rested. Declan Rice will be rested. Take them out of the team. You shouldn't look at, Downs is going to be in there midfield with probably Mark Noble get rolled out for a little kickabout. But yeah, I would relish playing a West Ham team that's got their all their concentration on a cup final in 10 days.
So if that's the case, just let's switch and try to do a different mindset here. We've got West Ham at home.
Yeah.
But Leicester have got Bournemouth. How are you feeling there? That's trying to gauge how our Leicester fans might be feeling right now. Because you'd say that Leicester fans might be thinking, we'll beat West Ham for all those reasons.
Yeah.
Hang on, but our rivals got Bournemouth.
I think they'll believe we'll beat Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone within that club will be thinking we'll beat Bournemouth. I think that the attitude towards Everton from the outside is that, obviously we've struggled or whatever, but we just find a way.
We're still all right somehow.
Yeah, we somehow, it's like, how many times have we been the worst team in the league in this period and we've managed to somehow get through it? We've not always gone to the last game, but we've been the worst team in a number of occasions. We just find a way to stay in the league. And I'm hoping, and I'm sure the belief, after a few pints from most fans, I'm hoping that trend continues. And I think we've just got, and again, going back to the main message to all the fans on Sunday, it's get in there and make it ugly. Make it horrible for them. Players, the fans, the manager, make them think, I can't wait to get out of this ground because they've given us hell for 90 minutes. And I think we can go a huge way, as always, to pulling this torrid group over the line.
The 1878 to put something on their socials, asking everyone to wear blue, get everyone get in the ground early, make it horrible, make it look like it's an intimidating atmosphere. I really hope that's the case. I think it would help the team. Fan groups like that are brilliant, by the way. You go above and beyond, and all lads and girls who've got jobs and families and stuff to go above and beyond. So it's brilliant. I'm dreading it. I'm absolutely dreading it. I'd be dreading it if we had Morecambe or Man City. I just don't want to be in this situation. I think we're going to be looking at our phones.
Football, anything can happen. Anything can happen in football. Anything can happen in football. I know people. Yeah, it is. Yeah, anything can happen in football, and that's the lingering doubt there, isn't it? Regardless of how confident you are that we'll do this job, anything can happen. We could have a player sent off in the first minute for a stupid foul. Do you know what I mean? We could concede.
There's going to be roars and gasps in the ground from other things.
Yeah.
What happened there?
But there won't be. But there won't be if we do our job. That's the message, isn't it? And that'll be the message from Dyche. Look, you will hear things from the fans. You'll sense.
If West Ham go 1-0 up, we're 0-0.
Yeah.
There'll be a cheer.
Yeah, there will. So look, there's no getting away from that.
It's going to be horrible.
Whether the manager likes it or not, he's going to know what the score is. And I don't think Dyche will be the type of person who goes, right, I'm forgetting about. He'll want to know the score. He'll want to manage that whole situation.
Yeah.
If he feels as though a draw is enough at any point, he will play for that draw. That's the scary thing. I don't think he's the type of, like, let's just win the game.
If them two are getting beat 3-0 away and 0-0, he's not throwing a cyclone, is he? He's
No.
Put in the main stand every time you get it.
If them 2 or 3-0 and we're 0-0, yeah, I mean, I think it's probably a bit of a festival carnival atmosphere at Goodison at that point. But yeah, I'd take that all day long.
I'm not ready for it.
I'm
honestly not ready for it. I get wound up, getting beat in mid-table, getting wound up by the little things, and this is huge. This is going to affect a lot of people. We're over on Across the Park PC on Twitter and Instagram. I've put a few things out there, a few more shows this week. There's one coming on Friday with a Bournemouth fan. Got ex-Everton striker Michael Branch on the channel on Thursday evening. He's going to talk about a few things at the community and how he feels as an Evertonian. But we're here now. We've said for weeks, haven't we, that we're getting there. And
we'll be back in here on Sunday. Massive thanks again to the Winslow for allowing us to record here. The plan was to do it outside the ground, by the way, but it was a little bit windy. There was a few too many people out there that were taking pictures and stuff, and probably would have been a bit messy. But
was Judgy security were the only one paying by the hour. I think had to get rid of them. Look, we've said for weeks on this show, this is it. We've navigated through somehow this run of fixtures, which has included at City, at Chelsea, at Tottenham. It also included, games that we probably should have won, Fulham, Brighton, Palace. So that's gone now.
Yeah.
Got Bournemouth at home. Got to beat Bournemouth at home. Yeah. We'll do our part. I know everyone watching this, every Evertonian will do your part as well. We're in it together. If you see us on Sunday, by all means, come over and say hello and have a pint with us. But let's give everything on Sunday. Let's give absolutely everything. Leave no stone unturned from a supporter's point of view. Now, whether you want to get outside with a pyro, whether you want to just, get in there and sing, whether you want to watch it behind your hands, feel it. We're in and out. There's no way out now. Yeah.
That's it, definitely. Bring it on now. I mean, I'm at the point now where, it's time of recording.
I wish
now.
It was tomorrow. I wish it was tonight.
It's Wednesday, time of recording. We've still got a few days to go, a few more sleepless nights. But again, I just hope, and I'm, given the experience that Sean Dyche and his backroom staff have got, I just hope it's just minds on the task. They've got a clear idea of how they're going to play at the weekends, and that's their focus. And we just go and do our job. Yeah. I just can't emphasise how important that is.
It's in our hands.
Yeah.
We could be in a much worse situation.
Oh, yeah. Listen, that's the song. Leeds and West Ham would swap in a heartbeat, regardless of the fixture. Yeah. Regardless of that, they would want to be outside of it and go, if we win, we're safe. It.
Yeah, our destinies are in our hands.
That I can't imagine how, it's for those two teams down there. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter if they win. That's horrible, isn't it?
That was like us in 98, and we were 13, 14, but I can't remember how I felt about that. I remember just thinking that would be all right. And I do think we'll be all right. I'll go on the record on YouTube. I think Everton will win 2-0. How about you?
1-0. I think it'll be a nail. But I think we'll score in the first half, to be honest. And I think the longer the game goes on, we'll just get deeper and deeper, and we'll just defend what we have. And unfortunately, I think there'll be a very nail-biting end to it, because I do believe that Leicester will win and win comfortably.
One of the questions we got on Twitter, and I did address this on the podcast I've done this morning, which is not going to be out until Friday. Someone wanted to know if we go down, are we carrying this on? I think it's a decision that we haven't really made.
That's like a question they asked the manager just before. Are you going to be in next season? Well,
We've got great people who watches and supports us, even when we were doing the audio podcast with Liverpool fans and watching them win Champions League, stuck with us as Blues, our Evertonian followers. And
listen,
you've asked the question, will you still
listen, all I'll say, I'm not going to be an Evertonian. We do this because we enjoy talking about Everton. It's a lot of the time it's therapy, isn't it? Yeah. We've also done it, as you said, because we've had a lot of people who followed us, and we feel obliged to keep things going for them, and a lot of people who give us plenty of support. So, listen, I'm not going in. I'm still going to go to the match. And for that reason, I'd still like to try and share me despair with other people, and hopefully joy if it comes to us getting back up again. So, listen, let's put that to bed. We're not going anywhere.
You might have a summer off, mightn't you?
Yeah, I think it might need a bit of time to actually come to terms with it. But, we're not going anywhere.
And I really do hope that we see you for the instant match reaction on Sunday. I can't guarantee it. I'll tell you what. I really, really hope that we see you on Sunday for the instant match reaction. This is it, we're here. It's Everton vs Bournemouth. It's in our own hands. Everton, just go and fucking win. Up the fucking toffees.